The spirit of innovation is deeply ingrained in America, and Google is helping Americans innovate in ways both big and small. The Department of Defense is working with Google to help secure America's digital defense systems, from establishing cloud-based zero-trust solutions to deploying the latest AI technology. This is a new era of American innovation. Find out more at g.co/American innovation.
McDonald's meets the Minecraft universe with one of 6 collectibles and your choice of a Big Mac or 10-piece McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. Now available with a Minecraft movie meal.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time, a Minecraft movie only in theaters.
The NBA playoffs are here, and I'm getting my bets in on FanDuel. Talk to me, Chuck GPT. What do you know?
All sorts of interesting stuff, even Charles Barkley's greatest fear.
Hey, nobody needs to know that.
New customers bet $5 to get $250 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
21 plus and present in Virginia. Must be first online real money wager. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome to
4Kids Flashback. Hello and welcome to 4Kids Flashback. My name is Tara Sands and I'm joined by
Steve Yurko.
Here we are again. In case you are new to the show, here's my spiel. 4Kids Flashback is a podcast about 4Kids Media, a company that brought shows like Pokémon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Digimon. I said Digimon. Oh my gosh. I must really be tired. Nope. Whoa. You know why? Because sometimes when I'm doing intros about myself, I list those as the shows I've worked on. Okay, wait. I'm going to say that again. Shaman King. One Piece to English-speaking audiences in the late 90s, 2000s. And that's a big part of the reason that you probably watch anime today. We go deep behind the scenes, writers, actors, producers, licensing department. And that's what this show is. I did a terrible job selling this show.
Like everything we could possibly talk about.
Yeah, it was a big company. Yeah. They also had a huge licensing division, so that's why. If you haven't turned off the show already, because we are bad at this, today's guest is great. My friend Gary Littman will be here to talk to us. Steve, are you getting your One Piece questions ready?
Yeah, I'm like raring to go, and
is you at a high energy?
Oh God, that would be so annoying if I was more like hey, oh wow, wow, great.
Whoa, I'm just surprised.
Wow,
that was a good voice. I liked that voice. That was fun.
Really? That's not annoying?
It's annoying. No, it's annoying. But it showed there were some parts of your vocal range I hadn't heard before.
Yeah.
Because I listen for weird stuff.
Because mostly I'm just like, yeah, cool, whatever.
Yeah. So something I wanted to express my frustration with today are wikis. Okay. Why are wikis so annoying to change?
I thought it was easy.
Not for me. Maybe they're. I don't know. No, because I mean, some of them there was some updates I was trying to make to like the Shaman King wiki this week, and luckily some of our Discord members helped me out.
Mm-hmm. Fan wikis.
Yes, fan wikis.
See, wiki, I still think Wikipedia.
So. Wikipedia is easy and great.
Yeah.
And maybe too easy, let's say.
Fan wikis are kind of like, someone's coming in here with some information and they obviously care. Right. I don't know.
And I don't know how to prove that I know the answer to this thing.
Right.
So, like, I mean, I think I talked before about my trials and tribulations with the One Piece. Or Rachel,
for sure.
Updating like things about Rachel Lillis, which was just important and emotional to me. And I got in a fight with some wiki over it, and I'm still recovering. So thank you to the Discord, the folks in our Discord channel. You become a Discord member by joining our Patreon, patreon.com/4kidsflashback, paying $5 a month, and then you get to be in Discord and help me update wikis. That's not all the Discord is good for.
Huge draw, though.
It's a big draw. No, the Discord's been great with helping me name episodes. They have great conversations among themselves about lost media and things like that. So yeah, shout out to the Discord. But I thought of it because Gary and I were messaging today about. We'll probably talk about this during the interview, but the Ninja Turtles podcast has a bunch of roles that he played on Ninja Turtles that are different than the roles he played on IMDb. So like we're just trying to get it sorted, and yeah. So and I was looking at the wiki thinking, how am I going to get this fixed on here if it's incorrect? So that's between IMDb wikis. Yeah. That's all I gotta say.
The forever struggle. I'm trying to. I luckily I'm not in too many things, so I never really have to worry about all that crap on my like IMDb or something like that. Some real first world problems on my end.
I know, right? No, have you ever been like a moderator of one of these? Since you know so much, like you'd be a good moderator for one of these.
I haven't been like a forum moderator since I was a teenager, when that felt like the pinnacle of fandom. Did you feel like you had power? Yes. Having like a bunch of gold or green stars under your name, and yeah.
What were you a moderator? What was it for?
I think it was like I was on so many forums. I think it might even predated my One Piece forum days. So, yeah, real, just like small ambitions.
I want to see a picture of young Steve drunk with power over moderating. That is what I want to see. Oh,
I think it was just more like just the respect.
I hope you had an evil laugh. I really do.
I guess it's better to be feared, I guess, on a rinky-dink little forum on the internet in the early aughts.
That's funny. Oh, well, one day maybe I'll get to moderate. Well, I guess I'm a moderator of our Discord.
Yeah, I mean, those are the new forums.
My dad asked me recently what Substack is, and I didn't have a good answer. And I was like, you understand Patreon. It's kind of like that. Is that kind of how you would explain it?
I don't know. I don't even know what it is either. So
you don't? Okay, good. Then I feel less silly for not having a good answer. Well, on that note, we've talked enough about nonsense. We will be right back with our no-nonsense guest, Gary Littman.
No giggles today.
No, you just wait. Our guest today is Gary Littman. Gary, what's your middle name?
David.
David Littman. Okay. At 4Kids, Gary was on a ton of shows. One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh!
Two different Yu-Gi-Ohs.
Turtles. Two different Yu-Gi-Ohs. I almost said Super Normal, but that's a show we worked on outside of 4Kids together.
Right. I did Chaotic.
Chaotic. He was all over. Viva Pinata.
Viva Pinata. Yeah. Yeah, that was my Groucho Marx I did for Viva Pinata.
You did?
Yeah, the character was totally Groucho Marx, like 100%. That's what, with Eric Stewart, who directed it.
Yeah.
We just came up with this, like, let's make him like Groucho Marx. You can do that, right? He said, "It's like, yeah, I can totally do Groucho Marx." So, you're right. Okay. They shine like the pants in my blue side suit. So that's basically what the character was, like that.
Oh,
totally Groucho Marx, 100%.
Do you know what his name was? Because according to IMDb,
it was Dr. Quackenbush, Quackenberry, Schmackenflock.
Okay.
Dr. Quacken something.
Because IMDb just says additional voices, 70 episodes, which I know is not correct.
No, I was Dr. Quacken.
Was he on a lot of episodes?
Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So, see, Steve and I were just lamenting IMDb, wikis, all of this.
Yeah, it's like crazy pants land, right?
Yeah, and they don't realize that actually for actors, some of this stuff does really matter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It actually, I mean, Steve, for you too, Steve's an artist. I mean, I would guess that's like having accurate information online makes a friggin' difference, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I was actually looking online today and I saw that like some site, I don't even know which one of the fan anime things, has my birth date somewhere in like 1962. I mean, I'm old, but
Yeah.
I'm that old, man.
Right. So, I mean, and when Rachel Lillis passed away, who I don't know if you ever got to work with, they had it wrong. And I was like fighting with a wiki site to get her birthday corrected, but they don't know me. So, I mean, the whole thing was, and it was like, I just wanted it accurate for legacy.
Yeah, of course.
But I think Rachel probably would have been like, keep me younger. Stop it. Okay, you know what? We've gone way too ahead. I have to start with your origin story, Mr. Littman.
Oh.
I'm going to pretend I know nothing about you.
Sure.
Tell us like you could give the nutshell version, like where you're from and how you got into the schmacting business and all this.
Yes. Well, when we started out by saying my name is Gary David Littman, that's about as Jew as you can get. So, my origin story was in a Purim play in Temple at 7 or 8 years old.
You're acting.
I was acting on stage, and the thing is that my mom used to be in the business in the city back in the early to mid-60s.
New York City, we're talking.
In New York City. When I say the city,
and tell people where you're from a little. You have to give a street.
I was born in Long Island. I was there for 6 weeks. They were waiting for me to be born to get out of Long Island, to then move to Connecticut, and that's where I grew up. Outside of New Haven. And so we're outside of New Haven in our town with our temple at 7 or 8 years old. I do a Purim play, and my mom sees me and is like, wow, he's actually kind of good. She's not a stage mom. She's not a stage mom at all. But she said, wow, there's something there. And so there was then a production of Oliver that was soon after that. And she said, would you like to audition for it? And I was like, yeah, okay. And so I did. And then the director called and spoke to my mom and said, do you think Gary would want to play the Artful Dodger? And my mom, again, not a stage mom, she said, I don't know, ask him. So I got on the phone at 8. I know it was 8 at that point. And I said, yeah, sure. So I went to rehearsal, and that was it. That was it. It was like, I am home. I am home. It's like there was something magical about being in that rehearsal space with these people. And like the guy who played Fagin was actually a New York professional actor. He was in Pajama Game on Broadway.
He was the real deal.
He was the real deal. He was great. He was great. But just the experience, and I just felt like this was my family and I was home. Yeah. And I knew what to do instinctually. So it was like, it was a homecoming in that sense. And that's where it all began. And then at the same time, Warner Brothers. I was a Warner Brothers kid. I did not like Disney.
Watching Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers,
okay.
yeah. Watching Warner Brothers. And
I was like, you were an executive at the age of 9?
Yes, at 8 years old, I was executive at Warner Brothers. No.
Okay, so what were you watching?
Oh, God, all the Bugs Bunny, all the old stuff.
Oh, okay.
All of it. Yeah. I just ate it up. And the mimicking of it then also built my world. I never watched Disney. I never liked Disney. It wasn't just in my wheelhouse. It was Warner Brothers. And I think a lot of it was because it was, Borscht Belt kind of.
Yeah, stuff. Maybe broader caricatures of characters, maybe.
Totally. Yeah. So I just connected to that immediately throughout my early years, and that's what really propelled me into the voiceover world, was those kind of characters.
When do you think you were aware that there was a person doing those voices? Like, did you always know, or was there like an aha moment when you were like, that's a man being Bugs Bunny?
I think it was probably early on. I must have watched something, and then I learned about Mel Blanc, and that was, I knew that it was. I don't recall the time when I think it's because I was in theater at such a young age that the magic went away.
You just knew.
I just knew.
Well, I ask because, and this is a little bit of a side thing, but I know you're starting to do conventions, and I have such an issue when a really little kid, when a parent comes up and wants me to like expose that a human does these voices.
Oh God, that's terrifying. Yeah, well, it's kind of like it's the man behind the curtain. And
I don't want to be the
Santa Claus
one.
Doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll erase that because Santa Claus, of course, does exist. Right. Like, I don't want to be the one to ruin that. Like, and I understand a parent's instinct to tell a kid, like, hey, you're meeting Bulbasaur or you're meeting, whatever.
Right.
But
what's the average response in those situations?
Often the kid just does. If the kid's too young, they just don't get it.
They don't get it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ruin it if they don't get it, but it still feels just not responsible.
Well, it just feels like you're breaking the magic, right?
Yeah. So, or kids, I could see them starting to get it. So I say, hey, when you get home, why don't you put a YouTube video on that shows behind the scenes of their favorite cartoon so they can see a person with a microphone. I said, then I think they'll understand it a little more. If I think they're like at an age to get it.
Totally. That totally makes sense. For me, so I have a 8-year-old boy and almost 3-year-old boy now. Mm-hmm. And at school with the 8-year-old boy.
They're not your children. You just have them.
I keep them around. They make me look good.
They make you look tall. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, ish for a while, and then as soon as the 8-year-old turns 9, he's gonna be taller than I am.
Forget it. Okay, sorry. Go on. Sorry.
And then I get rid of him, and then get another 3-year-old. Yes.
Sorry, I cut you off, but so you were gonna say something about your children.
So at school, like sometimes the parents or sometimes the kids know that there's this character that I did in a show called Super Wings, which is a bigger show today than like some of the stuff that I've done before for the younger generation.
Yeah.
And it's about these planes that fly around the world, and they bring presents to people, and you learn about wherever they are in Hawaii or Japan or wherever it is. And so I had this character named Paul, who was a what was he? He was the policeman, but he was a plane. And so like they get like so like raised, like, oh my God, you were Paul? So they, like at 8 years old, they have the understanding. I guess the kids today.
Yeah, eight for sure.
8 for sure they know.
Gets it.
But like the younger ones, they don't know. They don't know. Like my 3-year-old, like he hears me does voices. He can't really put together that the voice is connected to anything else.
Right, and if anything, they just think you're doing an imitation of it. Like a lot of times a kid will say, oh, you sound just like it. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, it's me. But screw off, kid.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And then they cry, and then it's awkward. Yeah. Okay, so I know you end up, obviously, you end up in L.A. before you did New York.
Yes.
When was that? You studied theater, I assume? And
yeah, I went to NYU, and I was there from 87 to 91. Theater, the method acting. And so I went on that track where I was actually on the other side of theater for when I came out of school, producing off-Broadway new musicals.
Okay.
And that was my band. Do you remember a show called Ruthless?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Britney Spears, Natalie Portman.
Yep.
Laura Bundy. I saw
Well, Laura Bundy was amazing.
Amazing.
Now,
She still is.
Truth is that we never let the other two on because they weren't
as good as Laura. So this is an off-Broadway musical for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about.
Yes.
It's
which
a great
was an amazing
show.
spoof off The Bad Seed, which was a great show from movie from the 50s. Anyway, so like that was a thing that I was behind helming from inception to the off-Broadway run when I was just out of college from NYU. Soon after that, I was like, you know what? I kind of miss the acting side. And so I flipped back into acting, did all the things that an actor has to do in New York to survive and work their way up, getting your union card, doing the
What funny jobs did you have? Did you have any funny jobs?
Oh, of course, I was a waiter. Everybody should be a waiter.
Okay, that's
Everybody
not that funny.
Should be a waiter.
Yes.
Oh my God, I did have some funny jobs. I dressed up as characters for
Me too. Birthday parties.
Yes, for birthday parties and
Steve, you never did that, did you?
You never got to dress up as in birthday parties? No?
Steve, you never did funny jobs like that, did you?
No, I just punished myself by working retail. I think that.
Ooh.
A waiter.
Okay,
so everyone should be a waiter, whether they're good at it or not.
Oh, I think it's a necessity. Just to have respect for the craft.
Yeah,
you know.
I think just in general, just working. I think with
working in the service industry.
Service industry in general. I think it really
100%
humbles you, or at the very least, you develop some sort of empathy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No matter how much money I make in the world, which is massive right now, my kids are going to be waiting tables.
Gary's phoning in from his yacht. No, I'm just kidding. He, like I am, we're both in our closets with our microphones.
Yeah.
I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
Lowe's is the destination for Ego outdoor power equipment this spring. See what's new and exclusive, like the 17-inch string trimmer with Line IQ technology that auto-feeds to save you time. And the 22-inch Select Cut self-propelled mowers with a multi-blade system for precise cutting. Shop Ego Days, happening now during Spring Fest at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
At Sierra, discover top workout gear at incredible prices, which might lead to another discovery. Your headphones haven't been connected this whole time. Awkward. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
So you go to, you're producing.
So then I'm in New York for a while. Yes. And then I came out to LA in my late 20s, and I was out there for 4+ years, where I met Charlie Adler.
Okay, so explain, I know who that is, but explain to our listeners who Charlie is, because he's an important person.
Charlie, well, besides being my mentor in animation, a great friend, he is probably one of the most talented actors I have encountered in my life. His range is just beyond the pale of what he is capable of doing and making it believable from any little thing. And he has been that way his entire life, and also a great director. Because he's an actor, he's a great director, and that is so essential in our industry.
That doesn't always happen. There are plenty of actors who don't make good directors. He happens to be one.
And he was kind enough to see something in me when I took his masterclass when I first came out to LA, and he put my demo together. He brought me to his agency, and he got me my first cartoon gig. And at first I'm thinking, like, why is he doing this? What's the gain? And then I'm like, oh, wait, his reputation is on the line. So he's not going to do this just to be kind. He's doing this because he saw something in me that will make him look good. And it took a little bit for me to realize that. But
you both win. Yeah.
We both won. We both won. And he started me off in my career. I mean, he is the reason why I'm still in this business, actually, thanks to Charlie. He's a phenomenal human being, phenomenal, and a dear, dear friend, and always has been through all the years. And one of the things I miss about being in New York and not being in LA is people like Charlie, people like Tara. It's like I miss some people that are in LA. I have some really close people out there, and like Vanessa Marshall is another
great voice actor.
Vanessa and I met at Charlie's in his class, and we have stayed friends since then. Isn't that wild? Yeah,
that's great. See, I met you. So Gary and I met. I lived in LA for 6 months in 2000. This is like a tryout. I cannot remember who introduced us. Can you?
No, I can't.
And I know it was a friend. I know it was a friend who was like, "You should be buddies with my friend Gary."
Yeah. Was it Michael? Was it Michael Sinter-Nicholas? I can't remember.
No, because I think I introduced you to Michael.
You introduced me to Mike. See, this is what I can't remember. We're like, our brains don't work anymore. But then but I knew you here.
In New York? Well, yes. No, because I think I introduced you to the 4Kids people.
You did. You're the reason why I met 4Kids. Yes. So that I do know.
Okay, but I don't remember how we became friends in the first place, but I know it was a friend who was like, hey, be friends with Gary.
But it was in LA.
And I think it was in LA, but I think we both are not close with that person anymore, and we're like...
Clearly.
We were like, we'll be friends, but who are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've no idea. So what was the catalyst for you to move back to New York then?
Interesting. Good question. 2 things. One, 9/11.
Oh, and you wanted to be closer to home.
Yeah, and you know why?
Yeah, I get it.
It was a weird thing. I mean, it was very strange because no matter where I went in LA after 9/11 happened, I would speak to someone, whether it was at a bar or at a party, whatever it was, and they found out I was from New York, and they would say the same thing every time. I feel so bad for you people from New York. And I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
For me, if it happened in Tuscaloosa, I would feel the same way that I feel even if it was New York. It doesn't,
Yeah.
So there was a bit of a disconnect that I was feeling. I was like, I gotta go home. I gotta go home. As being a New Yorker, I was like, I just felt like I needed to go back to my people in that regard. And also, I turned 31. And when I came to did I turn 31? Yeah, I turned 31. So when I was in New York, obviously I was in my 20s, and I turned 30 when I was in LA. And I feel that as a man, I grew up at that time when I turned 30. It was like everything kind of clicked for me. And I wanted to bring that person back to New York. And the other aspect of that was my brother, who's a little bit older, lives in Virginia, and they had their first baby. And I only have my brother. And I was like, oh, wow, I want to be part of this child's life more. So I want to go home. And so I came back to New York, and I kept my apartment, which was super smart, as you know.
Yeah, so smart of you.
It was a rent stabilized apartment.
Yeah, that's another podcast. But yes. Oh my God. Okay. So now we're getting to the 4Kids of it all.
Yes,
so
here we are.
I moved back a month before 9/11. And I was very grateful to be in the city. So I understand that. So you get to New York, you call your friend Tara, and you're like, guess what?
I'm here now.
How did,
and this was like February then.
Crazy. So do you remember your first entry to 4Kids, like your first audition?
Yeah. Well, my first thing I did was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, and that's what I was first.
That was the first thing. Yeah. That was it.
Wow.
And I think I did something like an announcer at an event, like the voice of an announcer, kind of like announcing some sort of show that was happening, or a race or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Do you remember actually auditioning for that, or do you think they just kind of brought you in?
I think they just brought me in off of my demo.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. Because I don't remember that. I don't remember that much.
That's such a weird place to be. It was for Michael Center Nicholas too. It was his first show there, and considering how much dubbing they did for you guys to start on a show where you got to work with a full cast is so cool.
I know. And that was in that big room. Remember the huge room?
Yeah,
it was like,
nice
wow. Yeah, I felt like a superstar going in there.
Right, and you got to work with a fancy pants voice director from LA who was calling in, which is so cool.
Yes, that was amazing.
Sue Blue was directing that one. So what did you think of this 4Kids place? To start with Ninja Turtles, you must have been like, this place is awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. It just felt, like I told you about theater, feeling like home, walking in there. I was like, yeah, this fits. This feels like I belong here. I get these people. There's a different energy from voiceover animation people compared to like theater people, and then like musical theater people, or like Hollywood people. There's a different vibe that we have. There's a tighter family, even if we're doing everything wild.
Yeah.
We all kind of look out for each other, and there's just more support, and we're not fighting against each other. It's like, how great that you got that, and whatever. It's like awesome. There's no backbiting is what I found.
There was like a feeling that there's enough for everyone.
Yeah.
Especially back then. Maybe now it's a little bit more cutthroat, but back then I think we're like, okay, if I don't get it, I'll get something else. And oh, cool, yay, Mark Thompson got this because he's awesome. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And like going through those different rooms there, and like, hey, look, hi Veronica, and there's Eric Stewart, and there's Michael Center Nicholas. Everybody was doing their own recording.
Yeah.
For different shows.
And the funny, we always talk, it's come up a few times, but there was a studio there was one studio that was built in a really silly place, and you had to actually walk through another studio.
Yes, you had to walk through them. Exactly.
It was so stupid.
Who designed this? It's probably because they were like, well, we got another show. We just got to keep getting more.
Yeah. Or it just that was the way it could work. But like then you'd literally be in the middle of something, and you're like in a zone, and suddenly the door would open and be like, oh, I have to get out to go to the bathroom. It was so poorly constructed because it was bad for everybody. Yeah, whatever. But the studios themselves were nice. Totally. So we're gonna do more research as to exactly all of your roles on Ninja Turtles, because I when we introduced you, I told them that today we were messaging because we need to get to the bottom of. Some roles have 2 actors listed. Some roles just have you, but then no one on IMDb. So let's work on it's messy. So I don't know if you realize that 4Kids didn't give individual credits to anybody. So it just had a list.
Right. Yeah. I know.
We'll figure that out. But then what's the next thing you work on there?
Ooh, God, you have to make me remember that.
Okay, so
you might know that more than I do.
It's either One Piece or Yu-Gi-Oh, I would guess, or Tai Chi Chasers.
Tai Chi Chasers.
We never talk about.
Probably Tai Chi Chaser.
Oh, you think One Piece, Steve?
Yeah,
is that the order? One Piece?
I think so, because that would have those episodes were coming out late 2004. So if you were doing Turtles around 2002,
yeah.
Okay, so tell us your memories of work. You played Kuro on One Piece.
Yeah, he was so much fun to do. Because first it was he was a butler, and he was taking care of the lead girl. I'm forgetting her name right now.
Kaya.
Kaya. Oh, you were in early episodes with me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, with Kaya. Yes, that's right. Yeah, and then.
Oh, I was very sickly.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And then he flipped to show that he was a baddie, and he was one of the evil pirates with like Edward Scissorhand hands, which were amazing.
Yes, I remember. Steve, since we're on One Piece, what do you want to know?
Well, I'm realizing right now the shame, because I had just visited my parents. And I forgot I had one of the 4Kids Mattel Kuro toys from the short-lived One Piece line. Where
really?
you twist him and he's got like
his arms
fingers. Go. Yeah, so it's just flailing everywhere. Damn.
So you know what's fun? You're sharing this, and I didn't even know that existed.
Oh,
how little do I know of what
that really bums me out, because I was going through stuff and I found this. I'm like, I feel like I should bring this back, and I did.
Oh, that'd been amazing.
And I didn't even think about it until just now. I'm like, shit. Well, that would have been a nice little gag, I guess.
Yeah, that would have blown my mind, because I've never seen that before.
Yeah, one of the few.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. It was a very small toy line, and obviously, you played a major villain in that run. So and one of the few people.
Well, I mean, Tara, as you know, it's like when we do this stuff, we're in there, we record, and then it's like we're done, and then it's on to the next thing.
Yeah.
We're not really thinking about the whole picture as a whole. We're just thinking about there's our character, there's our voice, because we don't do it together. We do it all wild. And then we go off and we have auditions for theater, we have auditions for TV stuff, and then we have other voiceover things.
Yeah.
Or other shows at 4Kids, and then we do that character, and then we're off to something else. It's like your brain cannot really put the whole thing together, because you're not on that side directing it. Or
they know. But when it comes to toys and stuff, the only reason I know a lot of it is because of social media now. We didn't have the benefit of that. No. Now someone will tag me and be like, this new toy is out. Yeah, we would have known then, because you would have gone and bought it.
Exactly. I just saw that one. There was just this character that you put up there that you did a voice of.
Oh, a Pokémon. Yeah,
that cute
the
little
toy
thing.
Is out.
Yeah.
Yamper.
Yeah.
It's a Build-A-Bear, and they put a voice chip in it. It was so exciting. But again, I have to go to the store. It's not, people think that these toys magically appear at our homes.
Right.
That is not how it works. Maybe I'll go buy one. I don't know.
They don't give it to you mean?
Yeah, because
we're not important enough?
I mean, although I did have some Shaman King toys. For some reason, I got some of those. Okay, but wait, Steve, I have a question.
Didn't I do Shaman King too?
You probably did. We should figure out who you were on Shaman King.
I think I did do Shaman King.
I'm going to see if it's on your IMDb. I don't think it is on your IMDb.
On there.
I think I remember doing something on Shaman King too. Again, one of those things where I could almost guarantee I did. That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Wait, Steve, I have a question. So Gary worked on the One Piece video game. Why isn't Kaya in that? And then that's my selfish question. And then we'll talk about your experience working on the game. But was Kaya dead or sick or?
No, she survived. I don't
know
if you're aware.
But maybe by then.
I don't know if they clued you in on your last recording there. I don't think the sickly girl made for a good fighting game character.
No, you want the guy with the knife fingers for a fight.
He seems a little more scrappier.
Was that one of the first video games you worked on, Gary?
Yeah. And I did other kinds of things when I was in LA.
Yeah.
But for 4Kids, that was the first one I did for sure. 100%. I do remember that was the. Do
you remember the session and how different it was from recording a show and all that?
Oh yeah, because you have your list of lines that you have to hit, 100 of them, and you just okay, bang it out twice, 2 at a time, Like just hit it this way, you know, a little bit more, a little bit less kind of thing all the way through. And then all the reacts.
Yeah.
And then,
a lot
you know,
of
you're sweating nonstop and your abs are in such pain after the session and you have no voice left. Good day.
Yeah, seriously. Is he a good character in the game, Steve? Or is
Kuro?
Last time, I realized I booted it up fairly recently. There's evidence of this online.
Was it on a floppy disk?
No. Close though, like a GameCube disc, which a little bit smaller than that. I guess like probably the last time I played through story mode was with Kuro for reasons. I'll just say because Gary was so great.
That's if it's a lie, that's so nice.
I love you.
Because so I don't know how much you remember, because I think in that game, like whoever you just beat story mode with would be all of a sudden they would show up in the main menu, and you probably have line reads for like every single menu option in there.
Right. Do you guys want to hear his voice now?
Yes.
Okay.
I would love to hear his voice.
Yeah, because I had to go and.
Gary did some research. I told him that the listeners do like to hear the voices. So, and I knew that he would be game. Not all the actors like to do that, but I knew Gary would be a good sport.
Come on, don't get cocky. That was simply a warm up. The real fight begins now. And then he's got his hands.
Oh,
because I went online and I saw him. This was the battle with Luffy. In episode 17.
It's been a while.
This was the end of Kuro. This was it.
This was the demise.
This was the penultimate scene with Luffy, and he.
That's a fun character arc to play too. That's super fun.
It was really fun because, like I said, it started with being the butler, and then it went all the way to being this badass pirate.
Hey there, travelers. Kaylee Cuoco here. Sorry to interrupt your music, great artist BT Dubs, but wouldn't you rather be there to hear it live? With Priceline, you can get out of your dreams and into your dream concert. They've got millions of travel deals to get you to that festival, gig, rave, sound bath, or sonic experience you've been dreaming of. Download the Priceline app today, and you can save up to 60% off hotels and up to 50% off flights. So don't just dream about that trip. Book it with Priceline.
Go to your happy price, Priceline. Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase of 16 weeks, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
Now, I've been asking the One Piece actors if they realize, there's two things I don't know if they realize, how many edits were made to the show when we did it. Like changing the cigarettes to lollipops and taking guns out. Did you know all that was happening?
I didn't know at the time. I found out after.
How did you find out? By being yelled at? Because that's how I found out.
Yeah, by being yelled at. By being chastised.
Yeah. They thought that, like, we did that. I was like, I had nothing to do with that. And a lot of actors don't know that One Piece was remade and kept intact. Were you aware that there's a whole new One Piece?
I only found that out recently when I decided to look online to see, looking into the Comic-Con stuff to see if people got dressed up as me. And that's when I started to learn more and more about what has happened over the last decade.
Which it's not our show they're watching.
No.
I mean, I think it's good to have a sense of humor about it, again, because we were not making, we had Norman on the show who was like, we didn't realize the extent of the changes. Like, we just shouldn't have done it, but we were invested in it, then we had to do it. But yeah, he had a sense of humor about it, so we should too.
Exactly.
But and again, if someone's going to yell at me for it, Steve was a kid who was watching it disgruntled because he knew the real manga.
Oh, right. Of course he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and then seeing the change that they made to soften it.
Yeah. Not happy.
Soften is a good
thank you.
Verb.
Is that politically correct?
That's a good.
I think it's more. Yeah, it's definitely more PC.
Than what? Bastardize it. I guess is what other people would say.
Soften is it? Nah, that's nice. We should use that more.
I mean, so Gary, like, since you were a trained actor and all this, like, I never knew at the time that there was, like, especially for a show like Yu-Gi-Oh, that there was a manga we could read to get, like, backstory and all that. Did anyone ever see manga? No one told us that.
Nobody told us that. No.
Wouldn't that have been cool to have known?
Yeah. It would have totally influenced the characterization. But like Lazar, the character that I did, you know about that one, right? It was
Steve definitely does.
That was 5D. That was 5Ds. Right?
Oh, that was 5Ds. Okay.
Oh yeah, a little familiar, not so much. That's
Lazar is so much fun. So, he was like almost like he was a little character who was a sidekick of a baddie. I love playing the baddies and loved to have makeup on. He was like a clown, like this little with this beautiful long coat. And I came up with a voice that was, I don't know, it was around the time of Family Guy starting up, and he's Stewie influenced, I will say.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Let me hear it. Can I hear a little bit of it?
Yes. Hold on. Ready? Here we go. If you're so convinced that I'm a dark signer, why don't you push me to my limits by forcing me into a corner where I'll have to rely on my dark and mysterious power?
So good.
That's Lazar. He's so fun. He was so much fun. I love playing him.
That's juicy. So Darren was directing you for
Darren was directing
that? Yeah. Oh, he's the best.
It was great. I loved those sessions with Darren. And also, he also directed me when I did Zexel as Shark.
Right, and later stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was yeah.
I mean, according to IMDb, you also played Gene and Sly on Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Do you remember? That could be just small characters.
They might have been small characters that I couldn't even tell you anything about. I feel awful about that for the Gene and Sly fans of the world.
They're definitely cosplaying Gene and Sly. Absolutely. Viva Pinata. Or let's talk about Tai Chi Chasers for like a second, because I don't think anyone has talked about that show on here.
In the history of anime, I don't think anybody's talked about Tai Chi.
No one is. I know.
I don't even know if I can tell you anything about Tai Chi Chasers anymore. Can I? I don't remember. I don't.
You played.
I remember the name.
Cicada?
Sure.
Does that sound? Yeah, like
do you have a picture of the character? Because
again, it's just I don't think it's worth I think we're gonna move on. I think there's a reason we never talk about it.
Yeah, did anybody ever watch the show?
Steve, what do you know about it?
I was at this point, it's like one piece was out of there, and I was like,
done.
I must have been. Yeah, I was like late teens, early 20s at this point. So
yeah,
so you loved it.
So
you were watching Winx
the
Club
whole
instead.
collection. You can't. Yes, I was more of a Winx, a Winxer. I don't know.
A Winxer. I think that's what I
Winxer.
learned.
Yeah, you'd be a Winxer. Totally.
Okay, so then like Viva Pinata. Again, that was you got to do more new animation, and I'm so jealous at 4Kids.
That was fun, and that was with Eric Stewart directing, who was great because again, an actor who understands actors and knows how to pull out what they're looking for, and the fact that we came up with this character that is Groucho Marx and he let me just run with it. It was so much fun. I had a blast doing that show with him. That was a hoot. That was a hoot. And I played Dr. Quackenbush, Dr. Quackenberry. It was one of those two. I can't remember exactly.
We'll find it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you did another show there where you got to do new animation, Chaotic.
Chaotic, yeah. And that was Clay Claiborne. Oh. He was a bit British. He was almost like that mid-Atlantic kind of thing. And he was very sultry, hip kind of teenager kid, and he was again, another nasty guy, which I just love playing the nasty guy.
You played a lot of jerks.
I played a lot of jerks.
We've heard like from the production side of Chaotic that it was a bit chaotic, but did you as an actor feel like that or not really?
No, because again, it's like, you come in, you do your thing, and then it's like, okay, see ya, thanks. I'll see you next week. I'll come in for another 2 hours and you got more stuff as Clay and there it is. And I didn't know what was going on. I just come in and do my thing. And I'm looking at the screen. But I think we started that when I didn't see anything. Yeah, because it was a new show. I didn't see it. And then it was animatics. And then, there's the show. That's what he looks like. Oh, that's cool. And so that, you start building the character that way.
Right.
And I didn't know there was any chaos in the backstage. I wasn't part of it.
Right. I mean, but that's the thing, because people will ask us, and again, because now you're doing these conventions, which we'll talk about, like, where they'll ask you those things and you're like, I have no idea, which is a lot of why I did the podcast, because I do get to now ask the writers, like, what was happening? But I was curious from an actor's standpoint, since I wasn't there during the chaotic years, literally and as an adjective, it was pretty chaotic.
Were you back in LA by that point? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have something on your resume that I do as well that is baffling to me. So you and I, when we both lived in New York, did a movie called Easter Egg Escapade.
Yes.
But now it's been retitled as we must have recorded it in like 2003 or something. And now it's back as a 2021 movie called Eggs.
With us or somebody else?
Yes, with us. This is what's so confusing.
Did we get any money?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I was like, and wait, let me tell you, there are only 5 cast members listed, which is the weirdest part. As in the new, I think the original production had more, but in the new version of it, 2021, I can't even talk. Here's the cast list. You and me.
Yeah.
Someone named Andrew Levins, someone named John Michael Williams, and last but not least, Nancy Kerrigan.
Nancy Kerrigan. Wow. John Michael Williams, I think, was the guy who wrote it.
Oh, yes.
And you know who else was in it?
Pantaleone.
No, it was, yes, he was in it too, but same with Eli Wallach.
Yeah, it had a good cast, but I don't understand.
It had like real actors, not like us.
But what the weirdest part is that for the re-release of it, they don't list any of those other people. God. Just us and Nancy Kerrigan.
I'm finding more names on here. Brooke Shields.
Yeah, I mean, there was a cast, man. Yeah, and
Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah. And Eli Wallach. I know he was in it because he was the announcer at the beginning.
Oh yeah, there he is. But so I don't know what happened with it. It must have obviously not done well when it first came out in 2000.
It's got a very post-Tangled rename here, which is the one word egg.
Yeah.
So I assume they must have tried to re-release it, but again, I would have only known because maybe I would see like a residual, but like I never heard anything about it. I think a video for it was one of the first things that would pop up if you went to my IMDb, and I was like, that is not what I...
No, right? Like, why is that there?
On yours too. Gary.
Is it still there at the top?
Yes. For both of us. And we don't know it is hilarious because I was like, I need to talk to him about this.
Gary,
you know what's crazy about that is like, I just went on there recently to look at that. I was like, why is that there? And I moved like my TV demo to be in the front.
I tried to do that too. It doesn't. No.
And it won't let me.
Eggs just wants to.
It needs to be in the top.
It's so weird.
But it's kind of like it doesn't really help me as an actor that eggs, if that's what it's called now, is the thing that shows up when I'm there.
Right. And I found out because I was doing an interview and someone was interviewing me and asked me about it. I was like, why do you, what? What do you want to know about Easter, I guess, adventure? What? And that's when I looked and I was like, oh wait, there's something else happening with this movie.
But it won't get away from us. We can't remove it.
We'll never escape the eggs.
It's a fungus.
Okay, so I know we have limited time here, so I wanted to just get into all the cool, not just brag a little about all the cool stuff you've done since 4Kids days.
Oh, well, I've done a lot more. Well, like video games with Grand Theft Auto and Manhunt. I've done a bunch of those with Rockstar. I've done a lot of stuff with Rockstar.
Yeah.
And that's been
They're
kind of
New York
cool.
based. Yeah.
New York based. So yeah, so I get to do that and go out to the studio and even put on the suits and get to really play.
Oh, you do mocap.
I did
cool.
I did some mocap with them, yeah, before the strike.
Yeah.
And they loved me, and hopefully they'll bring me back once we're on the other side of that. I've done a bunch of TV stuff as on camera.
Yeah, he pops up on my TV all the time.
I had a couple of nice arcs in Blacklist. I had a nice arc in that, and Marvelous Mrs. Maisel had a nice little arc in that one too. And so it's been fun. It's getting to do a wide range of stuff from just your standard voiceover commercial things, or whether it's animation stuff, coming back with even like I just did a 4Kids thing as Shark.
What did you do?
Well, they just did a commercial. It was just a release of, I think, like the 25th anniversary or 20th anniversary or something. They got some new cards that just came out. So I got to work with Joe. Okay. I got to work with Joe and Michelle.
Oh,
it was so nice to get in there again and like.
Okay. So it was a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Now I was
yes,
confused.
It was a Yu-Gi-Oh thing as Shark. Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Oh, because we didn't talk about Shark, because that was after the 4Kids years. That was once Konami was doing.
That was when Konami, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
I'm so glad you still get to do that stuff. That's great.
Oh, that was, it was really great.
Yeah.
I see summon Black Ray Lancer. That's Shark.
A lot of yelling. Yu-Gi-Oh. Where can the people follow you? Online and stuff if they want, or if you want to book him. Gary is on the convention circuit now, so
yeah, Gary. I just started that.
Where can people follow you online?
Well, I am GaryLittman.com.
That's easy.
It's kind
and
of
I'll
easy.
put this in the show notes, you guys. So,
yes. And of course,
then on
my
Instagram.
Instagram. I just started the Instagram. Because I am so old.
You got to do it.
I just started the Instagram. I gotta think. So of course I'm Gary Littman. I'm one of those actors that wants to be found.
Yes.
I don't understand the actors that say
name,
like, I'm Mushy Mushhead. It's like, wait, what? No, I'm Gary Littman.
Follow him on Instagram. I'll put a link in the show notes. And also, I always tell you guys at home this, but if there is an actor you want to meet at a local convention, we have to be invited, much like vampires. Yes. We have to be invited in. So write to your local conventions and say, hey, these are the actors I'd love to meet and get autographs from.
Yes, and I will say this, which is kind of, I would like to think it's a cool thing since I haven't done the conventions before. I come to a convention, it's the first time that you're going to get anything that Gary Littman has ever done.
Yes.
Because I'm a virgin in that sense. So be gentle.
That means your autograph's more valuable because not a lot of people have it. That's why you charge $4 billion in autographs.
Yes. So it's kind of like my autograph will be kind of like having a Babe Ruth baseball card.
It's a lot like that. Especially if you sign something from Tai Chi Chasers.
See? Yes. Or Viva Pinata.
Oh, only bring him Tai Chi Chasers stuff. That would be very funny. That's awesome.
Yes, maybe there's other Tai Chi Chaser underwear. Maybe.
Underoos from Tai Chi Chasers. Oh, who remembers Underoos? Maybe
I don't even know what they chase in the show. So I didn't...
bad guys.
That high. They're chasing that high.
Yeah. They're chasing the dragon.
Oh my God! Yes, it's a very existential show. No, maybe we'll have to do like a watch party one day and find a Tai Chi Chasers.
Oh my God, that'd be genius.
I wonder if that's lost media. Our listeners know a lot about lost media.
I would totally be down for that.
That would be fun. Okay, we have to figure out. Well, I'm bad at arranging all of this, but we should do that.
Okay.
Gary David Littman, the fourth. You have been a pleasure and delight.
Madame.
It was great to see your face. Thank you so much for talking.
Thanks, Tara. Thanks, Steve.
Wow, this house is cute. But can I really get in the game in this economy? I do have savings, and I am responsible-ish. I should bury it. I'm being wild. But what if I'm not being wild, though? Could I actually score a...
Kick off your home buying journey with Zillow's new BuyAbility tool. It makes it easy to find out what you can afford, so you can get off the bench and onto the playing field with confidence. Check your BuyAbility, only on Zillow.
Hi, it's Ashley and Jess with Wellness Reality Check. We are two health practitioners, moms, and best friends trying to navigate the world of holistic health in a balanced, productive way that brings health to our lives instead of dogmatic extremes. We'll be breaking down health trends, interviewing your favorite health influencers, and always keeping it real. We hope this podcast brings listeners back down to earth, providing a dose of reality in the often idealized world of health and wellness.
Wellness Reality Check. Follow the show now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or at wellnessrealitycheck.com.
Aww, Gary David Littman.
Why didn't you tell me you knew Gary David Littman?
What do you mean?
We wound up booking Gary recently from when we recorded this, and I think if it was before the holidays when I was visiting my folks, if I knew, there was something about me holding that toy. There was some sort of energy out there. There was something in the air. I was like,
how funny.
I should take this back with me because it would have. It's an audio podcast, and no one would really get the pure joy out of it. But if I just brought it up on camera, because it's a funny little toy, it's one of the few toys I have from that short-lived toy line. So,
well, that's my next question. What else do you have?
The most.
Yeah,
I had him, and I had a Sanji figure. I think that's it. Yeah,
because we have a Luffy that I think we're going to use for charity at some point that is from those days.
Nice.
But it wasn't worth an insane amount of money.
No.
But it's in good I think it was in pretty good shape. Mm-hmm. So that's such a bummer that it was such a short-lived toy line.
Mm-hmm. But with Mattel too. And Mattel's no joke. But I think because of Mattel, 4Kids had a Yu-Gi-Oh line with them, very successful Yu-Gi-Oh line. So I think that trajectory made sense, but I obviously must have not worked out, and that was probably it. Yeah, but I don't know. Just my one little thing. It's kind of just damn, that would have been a hoot. But
do you get a pang of sadness when you pass by where Toys R Us stores used to be?
Yeah, it's funny now, living in LA, and discovering the Toys R Us that's from the beginning of Back to the Future. I don't know how well you remember Back to the Future. It's after Marty leaves Doc Brown's.
Yeah, there's a Toys R Us.
Gosh, yeah, he skates, and that's on what is that? That's Victory. I think that's.
But does it still have the Toys R Us sign up?
No.
That's what that's what.
But that was still open when I moved out here, and don't get me started on Toys R Us. I grew up in those.
Yeah. I know. I liked to just wander through them, even if I wasn't going to get anything. It was fun to see what was there. I mean, now it's the one that near me is now a Target, which there's toys there, but there's also stuff that's not toys. And it was different when it was a store dedicated to toys.
Yeah,
there just is a difference.
I mean, I think I was a kid who attached himself too much to material goods, but screw it, we don't have it anymore. So I'll sing all the praises of Toys R Us all I want. I mean, there was some in Pennsylvania that I knew the back of my hand. There was one in New York by me that I knew. I would still go to the one in Times Square. Well, Times Square I think is worse now, but even when I was in college age, I would go to the Toys R Us in Times Square and just take a peek and see if there's anything good in there. I'd walk, I don't care about the big dinosaur. I've seen it, but I'll just I'll go in the little pocket, in the corner on the side and see what toys they got in stock. But
yeah, we would go look at the Pokemon toys there for sure because we were we're on a show that has toys.
Yeah,
I don't think I bought a ton of them.
And I'm pretty sure from opening on, there was a Pikachu. There was a Pokemon section somewhere around there. So he was a mainstay there, I think, the whole time.
And then wasn't there a Pokemon store in Times Square for a while?
In Rockefeller Center. And then they turned it into, they made it a Nintendo store.
That's what I was going to ask. Okay.
Which I think at the time, because I think, because Pokemania was just the bubblehead burst. So it's I think this isn't going to last. So let's convert it to Nintendo. But I think a Pokemon store would do just fine on its own. It still has the same door handles. That's a neat little bit of trivia because it has Pokeball-shaped door handles. Yes. So.
But why don't we have Pokemon centers here? When I was in Japan, like those were so cool. It is pretty surprising that we don't have Pokemon centers at all here to go shopping at.
I don't know. When's the last time you've been to the mall?
Right. I guess that's fair, but they were in places that were more walking. Like they would be in like more walkable areas.
Right.
I think it would kill here.
I think that's a whole nother conversation, because Japan, I feel like malls, like a weekend at a Japanese mall, at least like in Tokyo, from what I last remember, it feels like the 90s in there. Like just people go there just to hang out for the day. And that is, that's not the case here.
They're depressing here. I know. I feel like I just had to park at like the only one I go to here is like because Italy is there, and like if there's like restaurants there you want to go to maybe, and then you walk around.
That's pretty much it.
Or Hot Topic. You know, if I have to go buy some Funkos, or like Hot Topic is I guess the main reason to go. But
get a t-shirt
what a shame.
Or you get your iPad fixed or something at the Apple store.
Right. Oh yeah. Yes, that's right. Genius Bar. Yeah, that's another reson to go to the mall. Oh, I miss mall culture.
I do too. I miss third space culture in general. Do you know? Are you?
I don't know what that means.
Look it up. It's. I only heard about it.
Look it up. Tell me what it means.
Well, I only found out about it because friends tell me like, yeah, there's no third spaces anymore. There's nowhere for anyone to go and hang out. So that's why we're all home all the time. And I'm
hangout spaces.
Yeah. And
that's different than holding space.
It's why Starbucks now are just turning into that like one part of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory where it's just all white. And they shrink the kid. It's
because we're all just at home on our phones.
But then like Starbucks doesn't want you hanging out in Starbucks for 4 hours. You know?
No, I don't blame them. And like they opened
one thing, yeah. At the same time, it's like it's like there's nowhere cozy to go hang out. I don't know.
Yeah, we need cozy nooks where they're not going to kick us out. Because but like a bowling alley just opened near me, like a new one, and like with tons of video games and stuff.
Right.
It is a ghost town. There is no one there.
Dang, even on weekends?
I know. It's sad.
Shit. I mean, just...
Maybe I'll have a birthday party there.
Maybe I should.
Yeah.
COVID is just like, it's just, like, I mean, because of the pandemic, there's less and less people working in offices. So office culture, the lunchtime culture is dead. So many areas are drying up around here in Los Angeles.
It's sad. We've taken a weird turn. But
sorry, a depressing turn. Sorry.
I know. Oh my God, you guys, tell us if you go to the mall. We want to hear from you guys. Tell us if you agree with this weird conversation we're having. We'd love to hear your feedback. On a lighter note, Gary Littman was so much fun. Yes, hopefully you'll get to meet him at a convention. Check the show notes for links. Subscribe, rate, and review. Subscribe, rate, and review, please. I said please because I really would love it if you did that. I guess we will.
Catch you next time.
4Kids Flashback is a production of Maji Media, hosted by Tara Sands and Steve Yurko.
Producers are Zach Logan, Tara Sands, and Steve Yurko.
For more information, go to 4kidsflashback.com. That is the number 4. And if you worked at 4Kids and have a story you want to share, please email us at 4kidsflashback@gmail.com.
You can find us on social media at 4Kids Flashback, and to listen early and ad-free, head to patreon.com/4kidsflashback. For podcast merchandise, find links on our website and Linktree.
As they say on every podcast, if you liked this show, please subscribe, rate, and review, and tell your friends, or 4. If you want to check out other Maji Media podcasts, go to maji.media. Thanks for listening. Hey guys, Tara here. If you are enjoying the 4Kids Flashback podcast, here is another podcast you will probably like. It's called the One Piece Podcast. They have been covering One Piece since 2009, so there are about 1 million episodes for you to listen to. Highly recommend it. They do all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff, break down the shows, interview actors. You're gonna dig it. Go to onepiecepodcast.com or look them up wherever you hear podcasts. And you might even hear a familiar voice that sounds a lot like Steve Yurko. Check it out now. Thanks.